My sister loudly announced my period in front of everyone at my wedding reception. 3 weeks later, I made an announcement of my own. She's the family outcast now. The ceremony was perfect. I was sitting at the head table taking it all in when my sister's voice cut through the crowd like a knife. "Oh my god, girl, there's blood on your dress!" Renee shouted at me from across the table. Every head in the reception hall turned toward me. "You're on your period. Let me get you some tampons." I sat frozen. My period wasn't due for another 2 weeks. How could this have happened? Even worse, I was sitting down. Nobody could see anything. She could have whispered. She could have pulled me aside quietly, but that wasn't Renee's style. "Your periods are always so heavy," she continued loudly, walking toward me with her arms out like she was about to rescue a drowning puppy. "Let me get you cleaned up, sweetie." My face burned. 200 guests stared at me. My new husband looked so awkward. Renee grabbed my arm and pulled me up from my seat, ushering me toward the bathroom while everyone watched in silence. She kept talking about the period throughout the entire walk, loud enough for everyone to hear. Inside the bathroom, she positioned herself outside my stall, still going on about pads and tampons and stain remover. I sat there in the bathroom stall, putting a tampon in, my hands shaking, but a sly smile on my lips, because I knew something Renee never could have imagined. That's why I simply walked out of the bathroom and smiled at her. "It's fine. You see, this was classic Renee. She'd always done this. Helpfulness disguised as humiliation." When I graduated college, she announced at my celebration dinner, "Oh, sweetie, you have such a pretty face. Have you thought about losing weight for the photos?" At my engagement party, she said in front of everyone, "Finally, I was worried you'd never find someone." Always framed as caring, always designed to steal the spotlight. Growing up, Renee was the gifted one. Straight A's, academic awards, constant praise from our parents. But as she got older, she became average. Normal grades, normal achievements. She never accepted the fact she wasn't in the spotlight anymore. So she learned that creating drama worked perfectly. But that's not the only reason she humiliated me. Renee never liked her own wedding. She complained constantly about how boring it was, how nobody remembered it. But my wedding was everything hers wasn't. Beautiful venue, packed guest list, people were actually having fun, and she couldn't stand it. So she looked for any opportunity possible to ruin it for me. She knew she'd get away with it too. I'd always been the quiet sister, the loyal sister. I never spread gossip. I kept every secret Renee ever told me, protected her from our parents countless times, until now. Sitting in that bathroom stall, something clicked. Renee never realized I'd eventually bite back. I whispered to myself. One particular secret came flooding back. 3 months ago, Renee got pregnant. Her husband Mark had been desperate to be a dad for years. They'd been trying for so long. At least that's what Mark thought. Because the truth was, a few months ago, Renee had gotten pregnant, then quietly got an abortion. She told me she wasn't ready and never wanted kids. She made me swear Mark could never know. I was still torn on whether or not I should tell him to this day, but she just humiliated me on the most important day of my life. That's why when I walked out of the bathroom, I was so calm. Renee looked up at me expectantly, probably hoping for tears. She actually looked disappointed when she saw me. She had no idea. The rest of the wedding went fine. Everyone moved on, but I was busy planning something. 3 weeks later, I walked into Renee's 30th birthday party. The whole family was there. Mark was there. Friends filled the living room. Renee stood in the center, laughing, soaking up attention like she always did. I walked up to her with a smile. "Oh my god, Renee," I said loudly, casually, like I was commenting on the weather. "Nobody here knows about the abortion yet?" The room went silent. Mark turned around. "What?" I looked at Renee, then at Mark, playing confused. "Yeah, remember Renee, you guys have been trying for a baby, but you actually got an abortion 3 months ago." I paused. "Oh my god, girl, you didn't tell him?" My voice had the exact same helpful but concerned tone she'd used at my wedding. Mark's face went from confusion to horror. "Renee? No, she's lying," Renee stammered, her face going pale. "She's making it up. Why would I make that up?" I asked innocently. "You told me yourself. You said you weren't ready. You made me promise not to tell." Mark stared at his wife. "Renee, tell me she's lying." Renee's mouth opened. Nothing came out. Everyone watched her, the same way everyone watched me at my wedding. "You lied to me?" Mark's voice cracked. "We've been trying for 2 years." The room erupted. Mark walked out. Renee screamed at me, tears streaming down her face. Our parents rushed over, confused and horrified. I stood there calmly. "I thought you liked it when people were helpful in public," I said softly, just loud enough for Renee to hear. Over the following weeks, Renee's marriage imploded. Mark filed for divorce. Our family called her a monster. I haven't seen her in 2 months. Last I heard, she's planning to move to Denmark and disappear.